He's the CTO and founder of Searchmetrics. He's built and sold the largest online greeting card platform in Germany in the past. His company has more than 165 employees located in Berlin, San Mateo, California, London and Paris. Marcus Tober, how are you doing?
I'm pretty well, man. The main idea behind Back to the Relevance is that if, especially in the beginning of the internet, the content that was published was mainly relevant. Less users, so people really investigated a lot of work into the content. So this is how Yahoo came up and you know, all these directories. And in that moment when everybody wanted to push out their own useless, useful, sorry, information, the internet was full of, you know, a lot of crap.
Yeah.
So I mean, Back to the Relevance is really the kind of the goal that especially for search engines, really filter out the noise. And I did a study yesterday, so how many domains that are available in the US are visible, and it's only 11%. So they rank on position 30 or 40 or 55 or so. So they are there. So this is what I took. I took all the available domains, ranking somewhere, and then I filtered out who is actually or which domain is actually visible.
Yeah. So
It's
for the semi SEO people, are they're there, but they're not visible in search results? Why do they exist?
I mean, that's a good question. So if I look back what I did many years ago, I thought it's very easy and simple to just create some content and then attract visitors.
Yeah.
And mainly because I was an affiliate, I didn't have my own products, so the traffic was only meant to send the user as fast as possible to other product pages to, you know, get the sale there and then, you know, get some provision. But I mean, Google is getting so good that Google wants to send the user to the main result, not to the affiliate page.
Yeah.
Google wants to create a good user experience, so all these mans in the middle, they are not so important anymore. That doesn't mean for everything. So for example, if you have a price comparison website and you have a guide, a shopping guide that adds a value, then you are important also. But if you have no added value, you just have a listing of products and the price, probably you have no added value anymore, so Google will kick you out anyway. So that's the reason that there's so much websites out there that are online but have no added value. That's why they don't rank.
And that's also because you mentioned in your keynote, you also mentioned the misunderstanding about the consequences of Google's Hummingbird.
Correct.
What is the what don't we understand?
People thought that Hummingbird is just a regular update like Panda and Penguin, but it's not true. Because an update like Penguin or Panda is based on only a small set of queries. So this is what Google sometimes also announces, like, yeah, we did a new iteration on Panda, it affects 2.something% on of all our queries in a certain country. Or the largest Panda update, I think in February or in April 2011, affected almost 8%, which is very large.
Yeah,
but
if you took a look at the volumes, then it's
correct,
a lot.
but Hummingbird affected more than 96% of all queries. So almost every query. So it's a rework of their algorithm, and because Hummingbird is also based on machine learning, so that the algorithm is getting training data, is getting better over time. So for me as a user, Panda is visible because it changes the rankings from yesterday to today, because it's a release that where I can see the differences. In Hummingbird, I can't see that. I can't see it. So it's a rework how Google calculates the rankings. That's why people can't see it, because it's rolling out very, very slow. And Google gets better very over a long time. So that's why people thought when Hummingbird was released, oh yeah, Google got 10 years, so they celebrated. Oh, there's Hummingbird, and they just didn't understood what Hummingbird actually is.
It has far more impact than expected in
the
time of the release.
Correct. It's the biggest thing to Google since the PageRank.
Okay.
Since the invention of the PageRank, which is, I mean, the underlying foundation of Google.
What you mentioned a few tactics that SEO profs still use, but are definitely out of date for 2015, for the 2015 SEO business.
Yeah.
What are they?
I mean, people, you remember the conversation we had before, right? People, they try to find major leverages. So, I mean, in the past, when it was clear that putting a keyword in the anchor text has a huge impact on the rankings, everybody just adjusted their strategy in SEO. So going back from a content-driven SEO, where it was kind of putting keywords, heavy keywords or keyword stuffing in titles and the content, people tend to just heavily increase their or their profile and links with anchor text. Then they understood, oh no, it's the link, it's not the anchor text anymore. So it was just adjusting strategies or tactics. So that's still the problem if you talk to many SEOs, that they try to find that one major thing. Yeah. So I was talking to a couple SEOs in the past weeks, and a lot of them they still do heavily link building. That doesn't mean that links are not important, but they are less important. So in the past, the link was the most important factor. Yeah. But I believe now the relevance, or the content relevance, and the user behavior, the user engagement, these are the most important factors.
So relevant content and providing the best possible user experience are key for long-term SEO success. Are there any more determining factors next to relevance and UX, of course?
A woman searches for haircuts, she has an intention. And for me, as the SEO, I have to understand what is the intention of my user, the typical user, the persona. Yeah. So if the intention is, it's a woman, she looks for beautiful things, probably it's not the longest text. Probably at first I have to put images in front, like a gallery of different haircuts and different styles.
Beautiful women, yeah.
And then I have content, because that's important, because this is the bridge between the online and offline world. But probably the intention is to get pictures first. That's what I meant. So it's relevance means what is the intention of the user when he's putting their search in Google. This is what I meant. Google, so Google is always trying to always be one step ahead. So for example, if you have a misspelling, Google tells us that you mean that this is what they started. Now they correct the search and show the SERP for the corrected query, and then they say, oh, maybe if you really meant it that way, then you can turn the results in that way. Yeah. So this is how Google corrects it. Or take Google Suggest. Yeah. So if I start typing, Google tries to understand what I want and is showing me kind of the potential searches I could do. And this is why I think Google is decreasing the diversity of potential queries, but makes it easier to make the right search. You have to understand what Google wants to become. I think this is important, because Google is not a search company anymore. Google is a very innovative company that wants to be part of everything in what we do in our lives. Sometimes that feels very, that feels kind of awkward and intimate. That's true, because they try to measure everything. It starts with,
and they're in your inbox.
They want to measure how we sleep. They want to read our emails, all our personal stuff. They want to
the temperature in our house.
Correct. They want to be part of all our lives. Or if they have the self-driving cars, they also know what we do. I mean, in these cars, I promise you, they will have also cameras. They will measure everything we do, only for our good. That's what they let us know, and maybe that's also the thing, because it is good and it's convenience. But I believe that Google is not a search company since a long time anymore. So for me as an SEO, I also open up my mind and try to understand what Google wants to become, and then I try to anticipate what it means for my business. Yeah. It could be also a bad thing for my business, because if in that moment when I understood that my added value is not so great, and for example, every vertical, so like all classifieds in the real estate business or in the used cars business. I mean, this is all about structured data, and Google can go in my market very, very fast. Yeah. Because if I have no added value, just listings, I have to think about it. Yeah. If I have an added value, I can, create something that Google would like to, and then they would prefer me as a kind of a preferred result or like, you know, a number one result. But that's what I mean.
Okay.
Thinking about what Google wants to become and then anticipate on that. They have to think about why is Google doing it and how can I stay a good partner for Google because Google knows me that I deliver value. Complaining is totally stupid because search is becoming more important in our lives.
Yeah.
How can I complain that SEO is gone when search is becoming more important?
Yeah. You've mentioned in a blog post or somewhere in an interview that SEO experts should be embedded everywhere in the organization. And
correct.
Why is it that most boards don't decide to do so? They don't see the importance, but why? Because of lack of knowledge, or?
No, I think.
Should you be keynoting more?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think that the term SEO is still very strongly related to technical optimizations or to tactics like tweaking links, putting keywords in the title and so. But in that moment when the perception changes that the SEO is kind of someone who organizes and communicates within a company, because what is the SEO's goal? Become better in the online presence, right? So this is what we measure with the visibility. We measure the size of your online presence. Yeah. So if the goal of SEO is to increase the size of the online presence, it's totally clear for everybody in the company that the SEO has to talk to dev, to IT, to business development, to product. And it's totally clear, but in the past, SEO used to be, oh, that's a guy who is optimizing the content or optimizing the product a little bit. Yeah. But look at what happens to websites. So there's a large site in the US that had a drop last week because they did a mistake, and probably the SEO didn't know because the IT just rolled it out. So if companies understand that SEO is strategic now, then they will change their mind. But I think because
there's a lot of work to do for the image, I guess.
Correct. that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
The site speed is something that the SEO can claim as his thing to improve the site speed, but actually the site speed affects everything on a company. Yep. In that moment,
but it could also help makes SEOers more important, right?
True.
This argument.
So, if I go to the CMO of a company and tell him, hey, look, the speed of your page is so important that you can double your conversions by optimizing the speed of your page. Make it 1 second, 2 seconds faster. The CMO will listen. Yep. If you just go to the CMO and tell him, hey, look, we have to make our site faster, he will tell you, I don't care, go to the CTO. That's not my business. So that's why also the perception of an SEO has to change, because page speed is so fundamental for a business that because of that, the SEO needs to get more attention in a company.
Yeah. What do you think will be the most important ranking factors for 2016? Or asked differently, what would you advise to work on this year to be future ready?
I think there's not one thing you should do, because this is the old SEO thing, like build links. No, maybe not. I think it's
the package.
Yes, I think it's two main important areas. One area is the technical optimization of the site. It must be very fast. It must be easy to use for the user. So UI, UX, and the infrastructure and how the content is presented on a page. So an overloaded page with a lot of ads could also harm your rankings, like a slow page. So it's the technical aspect. And then on the other side, it's the content and quality aspect. So that you have content that's engaging, that you have content that's answering questions instead of making more questions. Yeah. So that the user is, in the end, is happy with the stuff that you do, and then you have a better chance for good rankings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.